So we're just going to do it here. All right. We are recording. So welcome everybody to another ASEA Global Expansion Team Zoom. Tonight we have a very special call to you. We have the amazing Lourene Bavart, who's coming to us all the way from Melbourne, Australia. So Lourene, thanks so much for taking some time out of your day. I know that's my dog. Sorry about that. You've taken some, you're on Tuesday, we're on Monday night here. But thanks for taking some time out of your day to join us for this call.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. This is fun.
Yeah, you know, the color of your background looks like the skies in Colorado today. They were so blue.
And in Melbourne, actually, the sun's finally decided to come out. So, yeah.
Fantastic. So tell us, Lourene, you know, Bo and I are both athletes. We grew up, you know, with coaches, and we've talked to a lot of athletes over the years, and we can't seem to get past the sponsorship mindset. It seems like athletes, when they find out that ASEA can help with their endurance and their recovery, they say, why doesn't ASEA sponsor me in my sport? Instead of seeing themselves at their own billboard where they can advertise their own company and build their own net worth, because they're probably not going to be a billboard forever, right?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah, I think a lot of high profile athletes or professional athletes love to be sponsored. And I sort of understand that. They don't want to get you to use their name to build the business. That makes sense. So I just look for the people who are amateurs, people who care about prevention, who care about performance and recovery, and at the same time love to have some additional income. But it's more about their performance and recovery and prevention, right? So they're the people you should be looking for, and hopefully in your journey that you may find an athlete who's up and coming and finally hits the big time, that their secret weapon is ASEA. That's what we want.
So now I know you're being pretty humble, because I know that you're not just an amateur athlete. You were a gladiator. You're a black belt in karate. You were a very famous actor's bodyguard. So you're not just your, you know, weekend warrior or your armchair athlete. So why did you see ASEA as such an advantage?
Oh, so I'm just huge about performance and recovery. So anything that I can get an edge on anyone else, I would do that. And as I mature, or shall I say age gracefully, I want to be active. I want to be mindful. I want to be able to do the things that I've done 10 to 15 years ago. And I know it happens at the cellular level. And I know this is way ahead of anything else. And this has given me exactly those tools and those things to do that. So, you know, I'm thrilled how I feel and how I move for my age.
So aren't you personally sponsored by the amazing Danny Doyle?
I am.
Okay. So what does this golden tongue devil say to you when he told you about ASEA? What were the magic words, Lourene?
So during that time, I was really, really struggling. I was a single mom. I was on government handouts. I had 2 little toddlers. And that spark, that gladiator, that warrior, that world champion, that it was dead, if I could say that in a way, because the emotional ache of a marriage breakup took its toll on me to my God, what am I going to do? I sort of felt sorry for myself in a way. Anyway, Dan came down to visit me. At that point in time, he was living in Sydney, and he came down, and I thought, great, he's coming to show some moral support. We're having a coffee and we're just having a chat. And then he asked that question. He just comes straight out. He goes, look, Lourene, I've got something to share with you that could change your life. And I sort of crossed my arms and slid back. Here we go again. And I sort of reacted like that because I do get approached by so many companies about products and whatnot. Even though he hadn't told me what it was yet, I thought, here we go again. But he said, I was a bit, hesitant, and he could see that. And he said, will you listen to what I've got to say? And I said, of course. You know, being a mentor to me and someone I really look up to, I just listened. And he shared with me not only his amazing testimonial, but he also said to me that it's a breakthrough that hasn't been seen before. And then he said it's native to the body. Now, someone who's passionate about health and wellness, we know how it's important to give your body the great nutrients and the antioxidants and whatnot. And the raw and the most best that you can do at the cellular level, the better you're going to perform. And I asked him, what do you mean by native? You mean natural, organic, and herb? And he goes, no, better than that. Exactly what's in your body, in your cells, that help them to spark plugs and to send out the messages and to do what it's supposed to do is heal the body is what's in these products. So that's what caught my attention. Still hesitant. I remember him giving me a tube of Renew 28 and driving home and thinking, I'm going to prove to him that this does not work. But thank goodness I did what he asked. Take your photos, shake the tube, apply it morning and night, or if you think about it during a day, do it again. And I just did that. And I was one of those girls that grew up on the beaches of Australia. So I'd lay in the sun cream, suntan oil, anything to get that glowing skin and a tan. But I paid a price for that as I aged. So I wanted to get my best skin back. So I just, all of a sudden, people were commenting on my skin. What have you done? You look different. So what do you mean? So then I took my after photos, and the difference was quite significant in 3 to 4 weeks. And when I was driving home, even though I was trying to prove him wrong, I remember thinking to myself, what if this is the most significant breakthrough that he's telling me? I've got it in my hands. I'm a single mum who would looking for something to give me some fulfillment, something that I'd be passionate about, and something that could help me where I was stuck. All those things were going through my head. So thank goodness that he shared it with me. Thank goodness I listened, and thank goodness I tried it. And then the doors just opened for me.
So you said Danny was a mentor of yours. Had you guys worked together before in another company, or how was he a mentor?
Another company previously before. So, and we're both into health and fitness, into going to the gyms, and we love our rugby, we love our footy, and we just have a lot of banter against each other. So yeah, he's a great guy.
All right, perfect. So what about network marketing? Was that a hurdle you had to get over, or you'd done network marketing before?
I'd done a little bit before. Look, to me, I know it's about having the right company, the right product, definitely the great up leaders and things and people that you work with. And in the day, it's how much you put in that you'll get rewarded for. No one else is going to do it for you. It's not a quick fix. It's a journey. And I knew all that. But I also knew, geez, can I climb another mountain? Because I knew the amount of work it was going to take to get to the top. But I love the journey. I love the personal development. I love the personal growth. I love the events, the people that you meet. Now, where I've come from, where I started back in 2014 to now, it's incredible. Where am I going to be in 5 years' time, 3 years' time, 2 years' time? And I just do a little bit every day on myself, on the business, everything. And, everyone has different amount of times. Everyone has different distractions and noises in the background. But in the day, as long as you do those important things that work on your business, whether it's 20 minutes or an hour, just make sure you do them. And what are they? We all know prospecting, follow up, use the product. They're the key things. And work on yourself. That is so important. Read, listen to anything that can help you grow as a person.
So was there a defining moment when, besides looking at your picture and saying, hey, there is a difference, I do look different than I did 2-3 weeks ago. Maybe this stuff does work not only on the skin cells, but other scales. Maybe Danny isn't making it up. Did you wait to have a product experience before you started reaching out to other people?
I did for me. Yes, I did back then. And as soon as I started those people commenting on my skin and I saw my before and after photos, I just put my photo on a text message and sent it out to people that I have influence over, that people that looked up to me, my friends. And yes, my family. I just said, look, you need to have a look at this. Look at what it's done for me. I'm in an age bracket where people want to get their best skin back and care about health. And people said, if that's done that for you, Lourene, I'm in. Where do I get it? Sure, not everyone did. All right, but a lot did. And then with the Renew 28, which I love, you have the visual signs of things of getting the difference. You can see it. So that's where it really benefited me.
Yeah, it's hard to see your pancreas, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You can tell people my energy and my sleep's all better, but yeah. But when you have the proof there, it's a lot easier.
There you go. So what about your girls? I know you've got 2 beautiful girls. You're raising them by yourself. And so obviously you're juggling a lot of plates. They've got a lot of activities. And now with the whole, pandemic, they're at home schooling and, you can't do this and you can't do that. So what did your girls say when you said, or maybe you didn't tell them I'm going to do this company called ASEA? What did they think about it?
Well, they were pretty young back then. But they do say now, what do you actually do, Mum? Like my eldest daughter who's 15, she if you ask her, what do you want to do when you get older? She goes, I just want to be rich. I'll just love it. I said, okay, that's great. What does rich mean to you? How are you going to do that? And then she thinks about being a lawyer and do this. And then she goes, Mom, I actually just want to do what you want to, what you are. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, you can go on holidays and you can work from home, and then you can choose to go out. As long as you've got your computer or your phone, you're earning an income. You can do it. And I quite like that. I love it. If I'm going to have kids, at least I can do that. So the penny's dropping of what these opportunities of this can bring, right? And also, the last set of holidays are 8 weeks of school holidays. I go away them, I spend time with them. As long as I got my phone and mobile, I can plug in and still work on the business, but I also have the time freedom to create memories with them. She's 15. I'm hoping to have a few more years, a lot more years with her, but she might say at 18, Mum, I'm out. I'm going. That's it. So I've got 3 more years to create these wonderful memories. So I think they're starting to see the power of this business.
Yeah. So your business isn't just in Melbourne, Australia. Your
No.
business has started to ripple all over the world. So how did that happen?
Oh, look, when I first started off with the business, I always put it out there. I had to find people who had more time than me, who were business and more savvy and better than me. And I just put it out there. And I was just fortunate enough that, I had a few amazing people who connected me with Richard Lee David. So now I have a massive Asian community that's branched out into Singapore, into all these amazing other countries, Taiwan and Malaysia and whatnot. So then I had a massive right leg, and I thought, oh my gosh, now I'm going to do it on the other side. So I just put it out there. I've got to get someone else. I've got to find another Asian. I've got to find someone else. And not that it doesn't have to be the Asians, but I just love their work ethic. They work 24/7. They don't care if it's Christmas, Easter, New Year's. They're working around, and they seem to know so many people. So I just put it out there, and bingo. I personally sponsored someone who knew someone in Malaysia, and boom. So now that's worked out pretty well, pretty even legs. So that's fantastic. But it's more about, how many people can I share it with? How many people can I help? And someone said to me the other day, which was a really good question, where would you be if no one shared ASEA with you? Because sometimes we sit here and we think, oh, I've got to find more sponsors. I've got to find more people. I like to turn around and think, who can I help? Who needs me to reach out to them today? If you look at that point of view, it's so much better. And it's funny, you don't have that inhibition. You don't have that, oh God, I shouldn't really say that or send that text. Just do it, because people need to know about it. People are waiting for you to share it with them. And ask yourself that question. Where would you be if Dan Doyle didn't share it with you, or Cindy Buck didn't share it with you? Oh my God, it's hard to it'd be scary. What would I actually be doing?
Yeah, absolutely. It is scary. It is scary. It's like, it's a wonderful life. You can't really see what the people you've touched until you take yourself out of the equation. And all of a sudden you think, oh my goodness, everything would be different. Everybody's a critical puzzle piece to this project, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially during this pandemic, thank goodness for this business online, that we can still build, and like to think that ASEA had their biggest year in 2020 during a pandemic. I mean, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, just grateful to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. When Vertus Norton's in the front of the room and his bottom lip starts shaking and he's holding himself together as best he can, but he can barely hold himself together because he's a visionary and he can see things that we can't see. And I don't know if you saw a pandemic, but he saw how many people were going to benefit by us doing our job well. And if we don't do our job well, Tyler Norton reminds us that people will suffer. And so we're not just selling, lollipops and, lotions and potions. We're selling things that matter. We're educating people about how their body works, how their cells work. And there's never, like you said, never, ever, ever been anything like this before on the planet. This is the biggest discovery of our lifetime. Dr. Dennis Downey was on a call we had this morning, and he said, Cindy, it's not just bigger than penicillin. Penicillin is for sick people. This is for everybody. This is the biggest thing ever, inside and outside the network marketing space. And so when you really look at it, sometimes people think it's just too good to be true, right?
Well, that's what people say. This is just too good to be true, and it's funny, like some people try to look that needle to just unfold to see where the fault is in it. Um, yeah, just like that gave me goosebumps when you said that. I didn't see that webinar. I need to have a look at that. That's just incredible. We're just so lucky, so powerful. Just need to go and help more people. So get out there and quick. Let's go and share.
That's right. And you don't speak Chinese, do you?
I'm getting pretty good at
Are you?
understanding. It's quite funny, because a couple of my Asians, their dialect is really, really strong. So when they speak, obviously English to me, like no one else can really understand them, even my kids. And they'll say, "Mum, how do you understand them? Like what they're saying?" I said, "Just working with them, understanding them, their culture. I've learned." So it's but I can't answer your question. I can't speak Mandarin or Cantonese. No.
And what about Malaysian? Can you speak Malaysian?
Now, thank goodness a lot of them speak English, but like the beauty of our network marketing company is that if I can't do it, there'll be someone within the organization that can. So, just, if it needs to be a three-way call and I say, "Hey, Richard, I've got someone can only speak Mandarin. Can you help out?" Or David, Jesse, and they're happy to help out, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a real team sport, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to help others come up to your level as well. Always helping them, always helping, reach out.
So talk about that, because if you come from a karate background, a gladiator background, those are individual sports, and either you win or the other guy loses, or but it's not a team sport. It's not like basketball or rugby or football or something where you can't pass the ball, catch the ball, score. You can't do it all. You have to rely on your teammates. So talk about how network marketing is a team sport.
That was a really good question, because I got to be honest with you, at the very first couple of years with ASEA, I struggled with that. Like, it was all supposed to be about me. Right? So with karate, it's about me, when I train, what I focus. I mean, there's a laughing joke with the Australian national karate team that I traveled on the Australian national karate team for 10 years. I'd be with a team, and I might know a couple of the girls. But if you get a photo out now and say, "Lourene, who was that? Who was that? Who was that?" I don't know who that guy was in the men's team, because I didn't have to know about who that was, because I was there for me, right? So I learned the hard way through my karate time, or the first couple of years in ASEA. It's not about you, Lourene. I need to change my habits, the way I was thinking. I had to get coaching, mentoring to change something that it's been wired in me for many, many years as an individual karate athlete, that I'm going to have to answer that question. I'm going to have to go to that team meeting. I'm going to have to show that person how to sponsor, what scripts, how to say things. And it took me a long time to get around that. Even when I went to events, it's okay to go and talk to people, Lourene, because when I went to a karate tournament, I was there for me. All I wanted to do was warm up, get to that mat, compete, I wasn't there to socialize. I wasn't there to make new friends. I was there to win, right? But if I was to win in network marketing with ASEA, it's the opposite, flip. So a big learning curve, which I've grown as a person now. So that is, to me, for me to succeed, or for someone else to succeed, we've got to dig deep. We've got to bring everyone up.
That's right. So what about asking for help? How did you do as far as asking for help? Could you turn around and say, "Danny, will you help me with this?" Was that hard for you?
At the very start, very, very hard. Yeah, very, very hard, because you want to be seen that you can do it yourself, right? But now I just ask the question, and now I have mentors. I have mentors outside of ASEA, because I think it's good to see someone have a different perspective, like a business coach and a mentor. And then I have my Dans and Mal Swords. If I've got a question to ask, or something about numbers, I mean, everyone's got different strengths, right? And Dan and Mal work out the numbers and how to do that. They're amazing with that. So look, I'll just say, look, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I like to do. What do I need to do? What are my numbers? Please tell me step by step. Bang, okay, I've got it. Now I'll go and do it. So then I try and say, okay, if I need to get someone to bronze or to do it, what they've taught me, I duplicate. Okay, this is what you need to do. Bang, bang, bang. So yeah, I mean, you can't do everything, and everyone has different strengths. So, and what you're not good at, you've got to upskill. You've got to learn, read, reach out, get a coach, mentor, hustle your upline, crossline, plug in, And that's part of the journey, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you ever known the answer, but you know how important social proof is or third party validation? And so you actually say, you know what, I'm not sure about that. Let's ask Danny, or let's ask Mal, or let's ask somebody else. Have you ever done that?
Always. And I think that's good. That should just show that person across the other side of, on the phone or the Zoom or in the meetings, and say, look, I don't know the answer to that, but I do have a well of authority who's an expert at that. Let me get them on now. Let me talk to them, whatever it may be. And I think people like that. It just brings you down, you know, to you've been understanding that you're not a know-all, and it brings a bit of more credibility to yourself as well and to the company, I think.
Yeah. Well, there's a philosophy at ASEA that we keep our P over our E, and we're constantly working on our C, right? So we keep our principles of honesty and integrity, of humility, you know, higher than our drive for economics or for ego, right? And we're constantly working on our capacity to deliver in the marketplace, right? So that's part of that, isn't it?
Absolutely. Totally agree.
Yeah. How do you think you've grown as a person? Have you evolved? Have you become a better Lourene Bavart, even though you were an amazing Lourene Bavart before? Have you become a better Lourene during your ASEA journey?
Oh, I hope so. I mean, I probably have to ask everyone else out there. I think I'm a lot more caring, a lot more empathy, a lot more passionate. And it's about others. It's being a lot more aware. Be careful what you say, and just be interested to listen a bit more. You know, ask the question. Don't always butt in. Just wait till they finish their sentence, and then, you know, show interest, and then those sort of things, definitely. I mean, I was the ice maiden. I need to get called Glacier and Gladiators for no reason. You know, I understand that had its purpose back then. I know, like, if I look back at that time, it's like, how did I do that? I mean, I could tell you this one story. So I come to the end of my career in karate. So I'd won world championships and whatnot, but then it was the Sydney Olympics 2000. And the Taekwondo Foundation said, look, Lourene, we want to get medals and whatnot. We'd love you to do Taekwondo. We'd love you to represent Taekwondo in the Sydney Olympics. How good does that sound? And even though I wasn't really, I thought, I'm going to do it. So I trained for 12 months to get my Taekwondo black belt. It's similar, but it's very different. And then I had to go to the national training, which was held here in Melbourne. So you can imagine the Australian national Taekwondo team's there. The girl who I'm trying to get her position is there. Lourene Bavart doesn't know any of them, walks up to these stairs into this dojo or this area to train with them all. They all look at me. I don't care. I'm here to take that girl's position in the Sydney Olympics 2000. Who does that? Lourene Bavart. But I couldn't do that now. No way. So if you ask me if I've evolved as a person, definitely.
I can vouch for that. Absolutely. I remember the early days, and I didn't put two together as far as Glacier and the Gladiators. You were a cold BITCH. You were, and to communicate with people, you're a totally different person now. It's amazing to see how you've grown in the last 6 years. Absolutely mind-blowing, to be honest. We've only got 7 minutes, but Cindy, a big part of this, Lourene being on today, is she's probably got one of the most incredible evolutions too, as far as building this business. Coming from where she was, which when I reached out to hand this gift to her, had no idea the financial position she was in whatsoever. So I think it's fitting that we hear a bit about that story and that journey from the piggy bank time to where you are today.
Yeah, wow, that's right. Like, you know, I was on government handouts. You know, I was struggling to even just get coffee and whatnot. I remember going to my girls' piggy banks where, you know, my family had given them coins for Christmas and New Year's and whatever to survive. And I'll never forget Dan asking me, well, I can't remember which convention it was now. Might have been 2015, 16. He said, look, Tyler is out looking for some stories to share. So I put this story together about the piggy banks and what I did and how I felt. And Tyler came on that day, and I sort of had an inkling that he was going to share my story. So I sat at the very back of convention where I could hide, And he showed all these amazing stories, and then he put mine on. I thought, oh no. And then the spotlight's trying to find me, and I had tears come down my eyes. And because I was still developing as that person, Lourene Bavat doesn't cry. I can't show myself. So I was just hiding. Tammy and everyone was looking for me. And then I realized, oh my gosh, how much I've had an impact on people's lives with that story, and how far I've come from since then. Like, it's just, by the way, those piggy banks are overflowing now, which is amazing. So thanks for reminding about that, Dan. Thank you.
The molecules are amazing, and the health experiences that people have are amazing, but the return of financial dignity is so critical, isn't it? I mean, you can be the healthiest person on the planet, but if you're broke, it's, not so much fun, is it?
No, okay. One of the best events I ever went to was the celebration of Virtus Norton in Cancun. You were there, I think, Cindy.
Yes, we were, because I know Bo had called you about ASEA, and he says, wait, do you remember me? I called you on LinkedIn. Do you remember?
I do remember. Sorry. Anyway, I remember Virtus doing this training, and he had this statement or this quote up, and he says, whenever you start to make money, make sure you create memories with that. And that's one thing that I've definitely held close to my heart with my girls. And thank goodness I have, because, when are we going to travel again? They've been to New York at New Year's Eve. We've gone to the deserts in Dubai, been to Mykonos, Disney World in Florida, just the amazing things that I've been able to do with them. We've been to India so they can see the culture of that. We did have it booked to go to the ASEA Foundation Cambodia trip end of this year. But unfortunately, we've just had to cancel it because of all the thing that's going on. I just love them to be part of that, where we can build villages for the kids and just to be grateful for what they have and see what these kids and families are missing out on. So I can't wait to take them on a trip like that. So yeah, and like that they have private school education. They're grateful. But I want to keep them to understand that this is not normal either. We need to show them how, to keep that humbleness about them, the whole thing, the way we live right now. So, and especially during this period of time. So yeah, coming from the piggy banks to this, like I said, if ASEA wasn't shared with me by Dan Doyle, where would I be? And everyone should ask yourself that question. From a health point of view, from the friendships, from the community, from the finance, from where this could be, the person you're becoming, where would you be if they didn't share ASEA with you?
And isn't it amazing? Because while you're in India, while you're in Florida with your girls in Disney World making memories, every Friday, check gets deposited into your bank account, even if you're on holiday, right?
Absolutely. That's just why I love what I do. Everyone knows, especially in Australia, my kids have 8-week school holidays, and basically I pretty much go and spend that time with them, take them, spend them. And people ask me to do this and do this. I mean, I'm out, I'm with the kids, but I know that my check is there every week consistently, which is amazing, incredible. It's going to be like that when I'm 75, 85, 95, that's what you want. And then to pass that on to my children, I mean, they're set, right? My family's set. And that's what
your kids are like our kids, because our kids grew up in network marketing. They've never seen, they saw Bo have a mortgage job and a construction job, but they've never seen me do anything but network marketing. And the wonderful thing, like you said, is that we've been studying all these books for 22 years, Think and Grow Rich, and, you can't steal second with your foot on first, and all these different, all these personal growth books. And what we've studied is coming out their mouths now. So it's so cool to have that generation.
It's huge, because they watch, right? Like my posts on social media and whatnot, because they follow me on Instagram and so forth. And my daughter came to me just before Christmas and said, oh, Mum, can we do that goal thing? I said, what do you mean that goal thing? The goals we write down. Is, oh, yeah. Sure, because they all came true last year. And I thought, that's success. So then I sat down with them both and we reflected on 2020. What were your small wins? What were your big wins? What were some challenges? What did you learn from that? And then we moved to 2021, you know, we looked at our, what are the goals you want to have, like health and fitness and school, whatnot. And then we did a vision board. So those things, for them to do that at 15 and 13, that's success. I'm winning. So they do pick up little things. They do follow, they do watch, even though you don't think they are, they're absorbing it all in. And you know, you can't be a better mentor and a better mother from that point of view. So that point of view, I'm thrilled.
Absolutely. Well, Lourene, we're to the bottom of the half hour. And
Awesome.
I know, I love just hearing your story and you know, learning more about your journey. There are people out there right now that are struggling. They maybe they're not having the success in ASEA that they want to have. You know, just look into your crystal ball, look into your vision board, look into your, you know, what you've learned about this company, and tell us where you see this company going in the next 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years.
Oh, well, they predicted it's definitely going to be a billion-dollar company. And I just think it's going to be a household product that everyone's going to have on the shelf. So you don't want to go and visit your friends and your family and see product that you haven't shared with them. Why didn't I do that? And what's holding you back? And don't be scared to reach out to ask for help. And what's really important too, what are you reading? What are you listening to work on this? Be really aware of what your self-talk is, because you can be anything that you want. You can choose a life that you want, but it starts and ends with you. For things to change, you have to change. Yeah, I know you've heard all that before, but you may need some help with that. You know, recommendations, reach out. Don't be stuck. And if you've got toxic people or toxic things around you, you need to eliminate that, because complaining, whinging is very, very contagious. You don't want that. You want the opposite.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any final comments, Danny Doyle?
Well, it's been an amazing journey with Lourene, and from the very first conversation, which I always remember, with anybody that comes on this journey, and the memories that would have created between that day and now, that's what it's all about for me. And even though we can't get together physically with each other as much anymore, you know, I can still see the results in Lourene's efforts every day through what she's doing in her business, which is creating memories as well. So for me, and you know, as far as an individual, if I think back of what we went through and this journey, and I think of Lourene's success, nobody would probably bring tears to my eyes more than her and her story.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's all about making sure we don't leave anybody behind on this journey. I always, you know, I've got the phone call or the photo or the memory of that person that wants to do this. And I suppose one quick question is, Lourene, if we can do it?
Anyone can do it. I mean, anyone can do it. Seriously, I was a single mom. I was desperate, and I didn't have that business mindset. Yeah, I had a will, I had a why. And I think that's what you got to hang on to. You've got to have a why. You've got to grab onto that. And just remember, it's not a quick fix. See it as a journey, but you could drastically change your life in 12 months if you start today. You can. And would $500 extra a week make a difference to your life and your family's life? It's not that hard, believe me, but you just got to do the right action to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're competitive like we are, Lourene, I remember
I'm not competitive much anymore.
No. I remember a gentleman saying, I got a question for you. He said it was a bigwig in another company, not ASEA, but his question was this. He said, this guy got in this company to make an extra $5,000 a week. Sorry, $5,000 a month. They paid monthly. His check last month was $200,000. My question for you is, what would you do with $195,000 a month you really didn't need? And I went, what? You mean you can make that? You mean in network marketing, you can make that kind of money? Now, those people are few and far between, but all I needed to know was that it was possible, because if somebody can do it, somebody else can do it, right? And then as long as you have the right coaches, we can figure it out. And the cool thing is, if somebody gets a lot of pie, it doesn't mean they've taken you more of your pie. We'll just make more pie. You know, ASEA will pay out to lots of people. There's no limit to what all the people that can be at the top of this company, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
No limit whatsoever. I mean, there are so many people who are making a lot of money, a lot of money. But at the end of the day is what you just share, and all of a sudden it'll start trickling in, and you'll start to build more people, plug them in. Don't forget to ask for help if you need it. And there's lots of books and resources that you can learn, but also there's so much noise as well. Just make sure you don't have too much information and then no action. So make sure that you definitely do the action, and don't just keep personal development and not doing anything, because that's really important too.
That's right. That's right. Well, life can get really interesting when you're earning money where you're not just having to pay your bills, that you can actually, you know, provide clean water in Cambodia, build a vocational school in Ecuador, right? World changing kind of stuff, because you've gotten beyond, you know, that immediate money into really legacy money. So anyway, Lourene Bard, thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Have an incredible, incredible rest of your day, and we'll end the evening tonight. So thanks everybody for joining us.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for having me.